Okay, so you saw the title, and I'm glad that you clicked on, but I really want to break down how all of this started because I was actually thinking about how it's so crazy that once upon a time I used to literally weep on Valentine's Day because I never got a Valentine. And to this day, I've never gotten a Valentine, and it's so crazy because I'm gonna be turning 22 next week, and it's like, damn, you not only didn't get a Valentine, but you've also never been in a relationship, like a proper actual relationship, and it's kind of crazy because I really didn't think this was gonna be my life, but I'm grateful for it. And I'm going to explain how all of this started and why I've come to the conclusion that I've come to. So basically, it began when I was like in primary school. I would say grade 5 was kind of like the turning point. Um, but when I was in primary school, dating wasn't like anything serious, I guess, until you got to like grade 5, 6, 7. Before that, it was just like, oh, he's my boyfriend, whatever, whatever. So I had dated like twice. And when I was in grade 5, that was the second person that I dated. So there's person 1, person 2. So person 1 was in grade 1, and person 1 dumped me the next day. I basically shot my shot for both of them. Person 1 dumped me the next day. Person 2 dumped me after the holiday. And it was so weird, specifically for person 2, because person 2 actually liked me. And I know this because person 2's mother would always talk about it. So it was just like shocking. And I was always constantly comparing person 1 to person 2 because person 1 like treated me so well even after we had broken up. But person 2 had started to treat me like the scum of the earth, and that affected me so bad because I didn't do anything to deserve that. Like, I didn't do a single thing to deserve it. I didn't do a single thing to be dumped the way that he had dumped me, because he didn't tell me to my face. He literally told my friend to tell me that it's over on the first day of school, guys. Like, I was so happy I had a boyfriend throughout the holiday. I wasn't thinking about it the whole time, but it was like, oh my word, I have a partner, oh my gosh, like every now and then I'll carry on playing with my friends and move on. But it was also like my cute little secret because my mom didn't know, because I wasn't allowed to date back then. But it was just so exciting for me to just know that, especially because this was someone that I really cared for, and he was like my friend. Like, he was so sweet to me before we had dated, and that's why I wanted to be with him, right? And then also knowing that, like, okay, this guy likes me, just made it a lot easier to unintentionally shoot my shot, because I told my friend that I like this guy, and then my friend was like, oh my word, I'm gonna go tell him, and she literally did. And so then he was like, okay, let's be a thing. I think that's what happened. I don't really remember. It was either like he was like, let's be a thing, or she was like, are you guys gonna now? And then it was like a mutual agreement. But that's basically how we started dating. And this was like on the last week of school. So because he was a rich kid, he went on holiday, and so the next day I didn't see him, and I was so bummed out about it. And I was like, okay, it's fine, I'm gonna see him on the first day of school. But then first thing in the morning, I'm told by my friend, like, hey, this guy said it's over, and I'm gonna go see the guy in class because we are literally in the same class. And I'm just like, what? But I got over it so quick because it didn't mean much, right? But then over time it did, because now it's like grade 5, and now relationships are starting to become a thing that like everyone wants to be in. And this guy and I have already broken up, but I can't seem to get into a relationship because every guy I have a crush on literally wants nothing to do with me. And so then I realized that it was literally because of my appearance, my complexion, because the guy won, because we're still friends. I think it was him or was someone else, but they told me, look, I was talking to the guys, and they were like, they would only date you if you're lighter skinned. And man, when I heard that, it literally broke me. And that's when my insecurity started. Like, literally, that was when my insecurity started, and I was like, oh, so maybe that's actually why he just like suddenly dumped me. Guy 2 suddenly dumped me out of the blue because of my appearance and the fact that I'm dark skinned. And mind you, this is the time where like puberty is really happening for everyone, but I seem to look like I'm stuck because I'm not gaining weight, I'm not getting curvy, I'm not getting any boobs, and on top of that, I'm not light skinned. So it really affected me. And so I was really out here like, God, why me? Like, what have I done to deserve any of this? But instead of like letting it not bother me, it bothered me even more. So I was just like obsessively crushing over every guy. And at that time, I was a kid, I didn't know it was limerence, but I was obsessed with the idea of being in a relationship. From someone who did not give a damn about relationships, who only liked someone because they were purely kind, to literally, I don't care, let me be superficial, I'm gonna like this guy because he's hot, and that's all that matters, right? And so I was just always going for the guy that everyone said is hot. And he was obviously not going for me because, I mean, I'm gorgeous, yes, I know that now, but back then I didn't, and I needed that validation. But because of like this, he was not gonna go for that. And it broke me, guys, like it broke me. Like I was on my knees begging Jesus every night, please, like when I wake up, can I please just be light skinned? Can I please have hazel brown eyes with green in the center? Guys, can I please just have long hair? Like, I didn't know about textures or whatever, I didn't really care about that, but I knew that having long hair was a perk. So I was like, please, can I just have those things, please? And then can I also have a rich dad so that I have good clothes and I can look fashionable and whatever. Like, I had this whole plan in my head of, if this happens, like my life can change and at least I'll finally be validated by men, right? But these are things that I later realized, because as a kid, I didn't know like I was doing this because I wanted to be validated. I just wanted to fit in. Like in my mind, it was like, I just want to fit in, I just want to be accepted, I also want to be like a part of this, right? And so primary school ended up being such a painful experience for me, from like basically grade 5 to grade 7, and I was really excited to leave because a lot had happened. I actually want to explain 2 stories that happened. So it was that story about if I was lighter, but the one that really broke me as well was there was this time when these boys were coming to our school, but these boys were a friend of mine's cousin and the cousin's friend. And so that cousin was coming to see a girl at our school who was like basically the heartthrob. Like every guy wanted to be with her, every black guy wanted to be with her, and she was white. She is white. And it was just like so painful to see that guy's reaction. So there's cousin and then there's cousin's friend. So cousin's friend got a photo of me from a friend of mine. I don't know why the friend decided to send a photo of me, but like I remember the photo was taken after church and I was wearing like my serving shirts and I had red lipstick on, and I just felt so pretty because it was like, oh my word, I'm trying out makeup. My mom's letting me try her lipsticks. Like my mom didn't have a problem with me trying out her makeup. And so she sent that photo that I had taken on my Sony Xperia E. And when he got the photo, he was like, ew, is that a guy in girls' clothing and makeup? Like, that's so disgusting. Because my friend had actually asked if he thinks that I look pretty. I'm assuming she thought that I did, but she wanted to see what he had to say. I don't know. I didn't ask. I think that's the thing about me when I was a kid. I never asked why. I just was like, you know what? It happened. I can't do anything about it. So I'll never know why my friend had asked for his opinion on my appearance. But like his reaction, like my friend told me about what he said, and he's like, look, you're my friend and I feel like I need to tell you. And I guess the intention was pure, but like that affected me so bad as well. Like there's so many things that happened in primary school, and I only want to discuss those two stories, about the if I was lighter skinned and this man basically calling me a man, which really affected me because I grew up skinny, and when you're a black African woman that is skinny, it's like you're not considered a woman because your body looks a certain way. And so I did not feel like a woman. I did not feel pretty. I felt like the scum of the earth. Like, I was really, really insecure. I had extreme body dysmorphia. Like, those 3 years were like the complete gutters for me. And it was just because of the words that these people had said about me. And the thing is that I didn't even try to find out if they were true, because I just believed. The thing about me, like as a kid, if you said what you said, I believed it. Like, I didn't question it. I didn't think you thought otherwise. Nothing. Like, I genuinely believed it. And if you're seeing people also react a certain way when you say you like them, or they treat you differently, or they just don't want you around them, and they're very like, ugh, get away from me, you're gonna believe that you're ugly, and you're gonna believe all these lies, right? And so I did. I really did. And it's so unfortunate because I spent the rest of my primary school life and like the first bit of my high school life hating myself. And so when I had left primary school, I was hoping that things would change, and that at least when I get to high school, there'd be some guy that I find attractive and I like. But I didn't even care if he was kind or whatever, but as long as he's cute. If he's cute to me, that's what I want. And I remember like not even wanting to be with dark-skinned men, because like yellow bones were like the thing, but also because it was the dark-skinned men in my primary school that made me feel like the scum of the earth. And I didn't understand why, and I can conclude that like it was probably because they hated how they looked, because they were darker than me, and they felt the need to have to date someone lighter or someone that's white to feel like they're worthy. And the funny thing was that I was doing the same by wanting to be with someone yellow bone for like those 3 years. And then when I was in high school, I was like, no, dark skinned men are the thing. They are the thing, and not all dark skinned men are gonna treat you the way that those guys did. So then I had an era where I liked dark skinned men. I've had so many eras where I've liked different kind of men, but I still never ended up being in a relationship. And I think in every season of my life there were different reasons. Like, it stopped being about my appearance, but it started being about like me realizing that like people are cheating on people, or like, no man, people want me to tolerate this or that, and I don't want to tolerate that, so I will not be in a relationship. Or people are trying to set me up with a guy that I don't find cute and are judging me for it because I don't find him cute and he's like not my type, and they just like, how could you say that? Gosh, when I say high school and primary school was just full of people gaslighting me, and I had to call them my friend, which is so unfortunate because I don't have friends like that now. And only like literally one friend was the only person who was like, nah guys, you guys are tripping, like leave the city alone, she shouldn't be with that person. Everyone else was like, why would you say that? Who do you think you are? It was so bad, so traumatizing. And I think that's why even now I tell people like popularity or whatever the hell that is not even worth it. Like, find true genuine friendships where people are actually gonna take care of your heart. And by the grace of God, I found that, and I'm experiencing that now. And I think that's why I'm able to talk about this whole situation, because I've come to realize that the love that I'm receiving from these people really makes up for those years, and it makes up for the love that I'm not getting romantically. And it's kind of weird because like I really don't desire relationships anymore. Like, the last time I did was like last year, and it was, well, last year kind of into this year, yeah, and it was different because I actually like this person for who they are, which is something that I hadn't done in a very long time, ever since guy number 2. And all I can say is that, like, I don't regret this journey, and I hope that whoever watched this and heard this story, it is raining. Whoever is watching this and is hearing this story will understand that everything really happens for a reason. And I think the reason why I never got into a relationship and I could never get into one was because every single guy that I wanted, like I was saying, every single guy that I wanted to be with was never going to be able to treat me the way that I would have actually needed to be treated. And so shout out to God for his protection, even though it resulted in a chunk load of rejection. I can't believe I'm still talking while it's raining, but I actually love the rain, so that's probably why I'm still sitting here. But I should probably leave and come back once it stops raining. Okay, so I'm back and it's still drizzling, but like I said, I love the rain, so I'm gonna sit. I also did write some notes, so I don't lose my train of thought, because I am almost done. But I wanted to say that it's not that I don't have the desire for a relationship anymore, it's just that I'm not obsessively desiring for it anymore, because there are greater things in this world to put my attention into, that are outside of a romantic relationship. Like I said, I have these beautiful platonic relationships that have come into my life, and I'm actually trying to develop those relationships and have a solid established relationship with all the friends that I've met quite recently. And another thing that I've been putting a lot of attention to is my male friendships, and honestly learning men, because I think I always had this tainted view of men, and it's always been like a man can only be my partner or a man can only be my enemy. It's never been or a man could just be my friend, like it was when I was a kid before I started obsessing over relationships. But I also think, like, in the Christian community or culture, there's always this emphasis of being married and you've gotta be in a relationship. If you're talking to a guy, it has to be about relationships and it has to be about the two of you being together. And I think that's what also made it really hard for me to see men as just my friends and not a potential partner, because how can every guy be my potential husband? Like, that's impossible, right? So that's another solution that I've brought into my life, and it's actually been very helpful, because honestly speaking, my male friendships are one of the best friendships I've ever experienced, specifically with the men that have come into my life as of late, and I've had the best experiences with them. So shout out to my friends, I love you guys so much and I appreciate you. And then another solution that I spoke about is the fact that I'm still actively learning how to see relationships in a healthy way, because I didn't grow up with the knowledge of a romantic relationship. Like, my mom's a single parent and I come from a single parent household, and just seeing relationships that are healthy has been really helpful for me, like in my life, and how they look and how they're not perfect. Also realizing that these relationships require so much work, and to be honest, it's work that I'm not willing to put in any effort for, like, right now, because my focus is my friendships and my career, like pursuing the dreams that I want to see in my life that are actually realistic. Like, instead of planning out how I'm going to end up being with this Prince Charming, I'm planning out how I'm going to end up being the successful artist that I want to be, and how I'm going to live the life that I dream of and live life to my terms, and how it's going to go, like how I'm going to get there. Obviously, life is unpredictable. God has his own plans and things happen, but like, these are things that I'm putting a lot more focus into. Hence my inability to actually think about the fact that I'm single, you know? So I think it's just so important to be self-aware and skim yourself out and see where you really need to deal with certain things, because you react a certain way because you need to work, or let me rather say you react a certain way because there are things that are undealt with and they are allowing for you to go about your life in a certain way, right? That was so descriptive. Anyway, and so in saying all of this, I realized the root cause to why I wanted to be in a relationship so bad, and it was because I wanted to be validated. I wanted to prove the guys that looked at me in disgust wrong. I wanted to feel worthy, you know, feel seen, feel loved, like genuinely. And I never got that, but it's because I was looking for it the wrong way. And it's not that love itself is bad. It isn't. Being in a romantic relationship is so beautiful, and I'm excited for that, you know, to happen one day, but not now. And I know why it shouldn't be happening now. And it's because my focus is supposed to be on my career and the things that I really want to pursue. And being in a relationship, for me, would be a distraction to those things. But I also wanted to say, like, Jesus, sorry, I thought it was like a creature. Jesus has honestly been really helpful, having him in my life, seeing his plan and his way for me, even though it's not everything, just having a little idea of what he has in store for me has really made me wait and be patient. And that's the thing about me, is like, when I trust him, I don't even think about the things anymore. So I don't think about relationships anymore, because I trust him to bring the person that he has in store for me in his own timing. And also just not consuming that content anymore. Like, there are certain couples that I watch because I just love who they are and how they are around each other. And the only couple that I've been watching recently is Ivana Cristal. Guys, check out her YouTube. Like, she's my favorite YouTuber, like one of my favorite YouTubers, because I love how they live their life and how there isn't much structure to their life. They don't have this like routine of having a 9 to 5, and I really love that kind of life, and that's something that I really love to see for myself. Just pursuing the very things that I want to do, which is music mainly. And then there's other things that I don't really want to talk about, but you guys know about singing, and I do plan on releasing music, but those are like the things that I'm trying to focus on right now. And so yeah, having a plan for your career is a really good perk to get into, and it's a really good solution to get into. But I'm not saying don't be open to relationships when they do pull through. I'm just saying don't forget to fix your eyes on that, because at the end of the day, the only person you have is yourself. And if you don't want to build a life for yourself, if you're gonna be waiting on a man to miraculously save you and give you all the money and whatever, that's a very slippery slope to walk on, and it's a very like sad life, no offense, to live, because you are born alone and you die alone. Like, even if you're a twin, you still one body, you know, and at the end of the day, all that you have is yourself. People come, people go, you know. So that's another solution that I wanted to bring on. And then having hobbies, having stuff to do. It's kind of linked to the whole career, pursuing your dreams situation. But for me, having a job, like a piece job, has honestly been really helpful, because I'm able to experience different people through my job, but I'm also able to have some form of finances to go and explore the things that I've always wanted to explore. Get into hiking, get into canoeing. I still need to go to the Four Ways Farmers Market, so I really want to experience that. Just to experience life. Like, get your own money so you can go and experience life for yourself. And in that, I've been able to really like bring back my younger self, like bring back certain things that I used to do as a kid that I really enjoyed. And so in trying to be this person for this, whoever this guy was going to be that was going to save me, I lost my inability to be myself and to have hobbies and to just pursue what I want to do, you know? And I'm finally doing that. I'm really finally doing that, and you should too. Like, you shouldn't waste your life away trying to be validated by someone who's never going to do that, you know? It's not worth it. Like, it really is not worth it. And I'm saying this as someone who was obsessed with being in a relationship since itsy grade. $11 I spent 11 years of my life. 11 years, guys. 11 years I will never get back. And yes, I experienced very amazing moments in those 11 years, but I spent most of my brain capacity thinking, plotting, planning, hoping, praying for a relationship, a romantic relationship to occur that never happened. And it's like, I finally realized, okay, Jesus, I get it. Like, this is not what you have in store for me in this moment, and maybe even for the rest of my life. And for some odd reason, I'm okay with it now. And I really think it's because I'm at peace with how my life is. I am okay with the reality of my life and making this reality that I'm living the best experience for me, because I could die tomorrow, but I don't want to die knowing that I spent it doing something that I don't want to do, or begging and pleading and praying that I would be in a relationship with a guy who could care less about me. Or even if the guy is caring and he's sweet and whatever, I can't force someone to like me, you know? I can't force someone to be their type, because they are allowed to love who they want to love and like who they want to like, because free will is a thing, right? And going back to something that I actually said earlier on about the certain black men probably projecting their self-hate, I do also want to say that maybe in some of the scenarios that wasn't the case. They just have a preference, because that is a thing. Like, I also have a preference of my own, which is quite hard to explain, because when people always ask me who my type is, I kind of can't explain it, because I've gone through all those eras and I've sieved out what I really like, and now I kind of have like a standard. I wouldn't say that the type has a race, because I don't really care for the race that you're a part of, but I probably would choose black men first and then everyone else, just because I'm black, and it just makes sense, because I'm black. So yeah, those are the things that I want to say to you guys, and I hope that this really helps. I really do. Like, I hope that you guys do like some real self-introspection, start journaling, and then reading over the things that you've journaled, and start identifying things in you that are negative and need to be replaced with positive words, affirmations, but also experiences. Sometimes you're in situations, or you're in groups with people who are so negative that you feel like you've got to run into romantic relationships or some form of relationship with someone to kind of blur away the fact that your life, your reality is not the greatest. And so I would also say, find people that see you, that meet you where you need them to meet you, because sometimes that is the solution. And for me, that's been part of the solution. I've also obviously discussed other solutions prior, but that was a very big solution for me, because I knew in high school, like, if my friendships were a certain way at that time, my desire for romantic relationships would have been non-existent. And now that they are that way, my literal desire to be in a romantic relationship is non-existent. And it's weird. It is weird going from someone who was like extremely limerent and extremely obsessed to literally not thinking about a boy at all. Like, some days I'm like, oh my word, like, I don't have a crush. What the heck is wrong with me? And now if I do ever get a crush, I don't put much emphasis to it. Like, it means nothing to me. It's just like, oh, like, I just think that guy's cute, and I leave it at that. And that's that. Oh, I just think he's cute. He's so sweet. Oh my word, he's so great. Lovely. And then I move on, and the crush is like gone in a few days, and it's like, oh, well, that happened, you know. No obsessing, no, I'm gonna try talk to him and get to know him, and none of that. Like, I just don't even entertain it anymore, which is so crazy to me. But that can be you too. And so I did this in the hopes that you guys would find healing, and that you guys would get to a place of contentment, because contentment is so important. It's so important to love the reality that you have right now. And if there are things that you don't like, replace them, you know, because I avoided having to replace certain things in my life for such a long time, because I really didn't want to have to put that kind of work in. Like, having to let go of people is not easy for me. Having to say no used to not be easy for me. It's still tricky sometimes, especially if I love you. I'll be like, ooh, and then I'll have to say no. But it's so worth it, guys. I promise you. Like, choosing to be self-aware and dealing with your gunk is so worth it. Like, life becomes brighter. Like, life will really be, just like Cleo Soul said, life will really be if you believe, but you also put in the work, because faith without works is dead. Okay, so I just want to leave saying that I love you guys, saying that I am grateful that you've made it this far. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to. If this has been impactful for you, share your story in the comment section. Speak. Like, I love conversations, and I want this to start beautiful conversations. So please go ahead and say what you need to say. Say your story, motivate someone in the comment section. Like, show love, because this is what this is all about. Showing love, bringing motivation, bringing hope, just showing people that it is possible. And I know that you guys don't know me personally, but just take my advice, because I was the girl who was studying the guy that I wanted to be with and trying to be everything that that person might need, so that they would have finally see me and be like, oh my word, she's so amazing, like, I should just be with her. Like, that was my thought process. And so I know what I'm talking about, guys. Like, I know that the advice that I'm giving you is going to be worthwhile. And I also hope that, like, for the people that are watching this, and if what I was is who you are in this moment, like, I hope you don't feel shame. I hope you know that you're not alone. There are a lot of people experiencing this, a lot of people who have had my situation, and their life has been my story. Their life has been my story. So I just want you to know that there's no condemnation. Like, don't even feel ashamed about it. Hence the emphasis on commenting. Say your story, be honest about where you are, because I'll also keep you in my prayers and be like, God, show this person what they need to do to actually get out of their situation so they can truly live in freedom. And that's what I'm trying to advocate, like living a free life, a life that you will enjoy, that even if you didn't have a relationship, you can actually say, oh my word, I lived a life that's fulfilling. And so that's what I want for you guys. That's why I made this video for you guys. I love you guys. I hope that you have an amazing day, amazing week, amazing evening, whatever time it is that you're watching this, and know that you are loved, and know that there's so much more to life than the things that you're thinking about or stressed about or wish would change, etc., etc. So yeah, anyway, love you guys. Bye.